Greetings. I'm your host, Don Armando, and this is Open Topics with Don Armando. So tonight, I'm just doing an impromptu stream, and maybe a part of this stream might talk about Dominican history, of the baseball type. So, just hear me talk for a few minutes. So shout out to my followers up on Instagram. The God of Jill, Chief Clean 57. Devonta Mills 4. Shout out to all my supporters. So let's get right to it. First and foremost, rest in peace to the legend of Municipio Consuelo, Ricardo Rico Calti. May he rest in peace. There is a clip of him on YouTube where he actually defended himself quite eloquently against police brutality in Atlanta. This man was also a man that my late mother grew up with in the sector called El Bate in Municipio Consuelo. He did a lot of good in his lifetime. He actually brought a lot of pride to a lot of people in Municipio Consuelo. So, he left a good legacy, and he will be missed by friends, family, and admirers like myself alike. So I'm just gonna have a moment of silence for the late Rico Calti. All right, so I'm back. Now, one thing I have to say is that, in light of the sad news that a lot of people have to receive today, we got to keep strong because there might be more perilous or more happy days that might come through the year 2025. So we just have to keep check on our families, check on our friends and everything, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's actually beyond our control. Why? Yeah, well, thank you, Jordan. Why smoke real? Why smoke real? Salute. Gotcha. I'm still actually, believe it or not, trying to balance out the music sometimes. But it'll get there. What's up, Don Jose? One thing I could actually say is that I'm glad that the elections is over. No more random calls. All right. Shout out to Umore 777, Exo TV Network, Jesse the Synagogue. All right, Umore, I got you. Yo, shout out to my homie J Rod. How's everything? Yep, the nation spoke, so certain people will be mad, certain people. Yeah, shout out to Irby. Yeah, shout out to NetStars. I mean, I'm good so far. Know, just holding down the stream and everything like that. Welcome to come up, NetStars. Good evening, Don Jose. How you doing?
Good evening, Don Armando. Thank you for allowing me on your platform.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay. I think Don Armando has some music on his end, so that's why he's muted himself, so he don't get hit with a copyright strike. Well, in any case, good evening, everybody.
Was in and out. Yo,
Mamore, what's
Good
good?
evening.
was good, man. Sorry it took so long. I was setting up. Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Great, great. What's up? What's up, guys?
fine. I'm just home relaxing. That's all.
All right. Let me check something out.
All right.
Well,
Yeah, I'm back. So, how's everybody?
We good, we good.
yeah, I'm
How
good.
about
I'm
you,
good.
man?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
What's
So,
the
how's
topic for
everything?
today, man?
Well, tonight, man, tonight we're just having an open topic. We're talking about anything and everything. So,
I was
I
noticing
was
that
gonna
you could
go talk.
stream.
I was gonna talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you could actually stream
Go-
from StreamYard to on Instagram if you got a creator's account or something like that.
Oh, word. Oh, okay, okay. Don't you pay extra for that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. You have to pay
No,
like
actually,
the.
it's like uh,
I know what it's called. It's like the
not really. It's like
RTMS. I know what it's called because I use it all the time with
yeah. So
OBS.
what? Yeah. So what happened? Yeah. Yeah. So what happened is that okay? But all right, it's full house today.
Hmm.
Word.
How you doing, Giorgio?
Good evening,
Oh,
Jojo.
hey, good evening, guys. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I
Yeah.
just logged in through my laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that.
Cause
Sorry.
all right.
I think it's interesting that the three guys that put in orders for Ancestry.com are on this panel.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah,
If
DNA test.
yeah, I've never done that. You guys done that?
I did it 8 years ago, but looks
Yeah, I
like
did.
Dawn
I
was
just did
a
mines.
nice. Yeah, I already did
Really?
mine 8 years ago, so it's already been one and done for me.
Yeah. Was it worth it?
Gotcha.
Did you
Yeah,
guys find out stuff that you?
yeah, absolutely. Like I already knew some stuff here and there, but there were for sure some more surprises upon receiving my results at the time.
Yeah.
of finding out because I just did mines. So they say they'll have to wait like 6 weeks. So hopefully, I just want to see the results. Because you have a lot of people on social media that they do not know what they're talking about, and they're actually spewing out false allegations of me not being who I am and whatsoever. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it for myself and to confirm or maybe see what's happening because I know of what my mom told me and I know of what my dad told me. So
Right.
that's why I'm actually doing this. So therefore, I can find out for myself and my sister.
And what's the price on that? Like, how does that work?
They're having a really
All right,
special
bet.
holiday
Originally,
deal of $39. But sorry, go on.
And what does
Yeah.
that bring? Like, it lets you know,
So
like, your
originally-
family tree?
yeah, basically, you can make your own family tree, or you could actually have your DNA could actually connect you to people who are actually currently living, and
Wow.
it might connect you to family that you may not even know
And
that
you
you had
don't know that
around the world. I mean,
that's dope. Very
I
interesting.
mean, the reality is, our ops who don't know anything about us, they're the loudest people to talk about us.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've
I
already
mean, I've been
plastered
called from
my
everything from
yeah. Yeah, so like
Right.
Lumar is that essentially you just have like I guess like basically like our quote unquote ops are just like haters or detractors who are going around, I guess, trying to be some kind of spokesperson for us and saying that we're this and we're that, though, despite all of the evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like for like, it's interesting that, you know,
yeah, pretty
like,
much.
because like for like to give a little quick context, like you do have like people who kind of go around and use the word black as if it were an insult. But
Yes.
if you really like look at the person directing the insult, it already speaks volume there.
Right.
Because like a lot of people kind of like not a lot of people, but just only a couple people have used, I guess, black towards me as an insult. But if you look at the person doing that, it already speaks.
Right. It speaks for himself. Yeah. Pretty much says, yeah, where it's coming from, it means a lot.
Yeah, because I've already plastered my ancestry
Yeah,
results
exactly.
over my platform. My
Yeah.
results are all the way out there. It's
Right.
clearly shows that mixed race Louisiana Creole. So,
Oh, really?
mhm.
Right.
So it's really
So-
interesting that
Your voice doesn't sound and forgive me, like black. Are you what are you predominantly?
so my results came back like 66% African, by the way, and the rest of the 34% was European. But for whatever reason, it changes because then sometimes it'll add in like Arab, and then it'll add in like Native American. But then all of a sudden, Ancestry will decide that I'm not that anymore, and they'll change it. Irby's like,
Oh,
what?
okay.
In the chat, though, I mean, yeah, Irby, I have said that me and my siblings are in that 60-40 range.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, like some of us in here, we're a little more more white or more black in terms of percentages. It just really depends.
Yeah. And what's your name? I didn't catch your name.
Jordan, it's real
Jordan?
name, but nickname George or not that, yeah, not that far off from my
George.
my actual name. But yeah, as
Yeah.
far as the voice goes, I never really gave that much thought.
I mean, okay, then let's put it this way. The way you articulate and the way you like pronounce everything, it doesn't sound and also I don't know. I don't know how to differentiate it, but if I were to guess, I would totally guess anything but black, something other than black, you know? And it says you're 66% black. I mean African or Creole.
According to Ancestry.com, yep.
don't we all come from the African bloodline? Isn't that I don't know if that's true because it might be a myth, but I hear that sometimes about how we all originate from that bloodline from Africa.
Ethiopia or or
Is there any
lose.
truth to that?
That's very debatable, to be quite honest, man. Like, but I am not going to sit here and say that that is something that I firmly adhere to, because I don't.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, right? Like that everybody comes from that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in all honesty, I do think
Yeah,
that
because it's like with me,
certain
right?
Or that everybody has that in their blood. I mean,
that's very debatable. I
You
do
can Google
think
it.
that certain populations kind of started in certain parts in the world, though, and then their traits developed depending on which environment they were in, though. Like people in those more northern regions, though, they're I think their skin
Is the
needed a lot
cold?
of vitamin
Yeah.
C. Yeah, the cold to be able to
So they needed
withstand
more
that.
vitamin C. So vitamin D or C?
I think it's vitamin D. I think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. The sun, right?
And then
D,
how
it's D.
people like in the tropical climates needed more broader noses so that there could be more of an oxygen flow. So I do believe stuff like that.
That makes
But
sense. Yes.
yeah, but as far as us all starting off in a particular area, that's a gray area for me.
Yeah. Darwin's theory of
Yeah,
evolution speaks about
I
that.
think it's yeah, I don't really adhere to that myself. I mean, Darwin's theory, because at the end at the end of the day, a lot of people don't look at the base word of it, and
Oh, you're
it's
cutting off a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you're
then,
cutting off a little bit
actually
too.
yeah, you're cutting
just a
off,
theory.
Armando. You're gonna have to
So
start over. You heard,
that's
Don
all I
Armando?
have to say about that aspect. But
Yeah, but we didn't
in
catch
my
that.
case,
Can you repeat it?
when the fact is I could go around and bring my own personal history, and guess what?
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, they'll still reject it. So you know what? It is what it is. You got a lot of professional lies in this world.
Yeah.
Yes, I got most of what you were saying, even though you were breaking up. I mean, Don.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, despite all the evidence that you bring to the
Gotcha.
table, people are still going to deny it because, like I said earlier, though, I plastered my results all over the table, and
Yeah.
also upgraded the results. It said that the Creole is actually from both sides of my family, though. So, despite all this evidence, it still is not good enough. But
What
like
does Creole mean? Is it Haitian?
No,
French?
the Louisiana Creole is actually a specific, distinct identity that's actually separate from like the Haitian Creole. But at least
Oh.
the early Louisiana Creoles, they were actually a mixed subgroup, though, of those who were consisted of African, then the European, and then the native.
Oh, okay.
And these people were actually endemic to Louisiana, specifically New Orleans. They formed their own culture, they formed their own identity, they formed their own traditions, etc.
Mm-hmm. So New Orleans pretty much
Right.
depicts that kind of culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Creole jazz scene, that's where it all began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like Creole food is probably like what crab?
Crab or gumbo, though, but yeah.
Gumbo, my bad. Gumbo. That's what I
Gumbo,
meant to say.
yeah. Every
Gumbo is
holiday,
crab.
my mom actually cooks it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're okay. So
I mean,
so you agree with what the
I'm a little bit
ancestry
familiar
like?
since I was.
People are talking at once. What's up?
No, go ahead, Don. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don Armando.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gonna say something?
Jose, you could speak.
Yeah, actually, in a recent video I watched from Lady Creole Monologue, she was discussing the difference between Cajun and Creole.
Cajun. Okay.
Yeah, I actually do have some of the Cajun ancestry too. So essentially, they were just the original immigrants from the Canadian province of Acadia, but they flew
Yes.
all the way down to Louisiana to escape the persecution that was going on in Acadia, which is now known as Nova Scotia. But yeah, I know the history.
Shit.
Yeah, I kind of got told the history too by my aunt because when I used to live with my aunt, she used to actually mention about Acadia. I never really got the full context of it until when I the difference between the Cajuns and the Creoles. Let's see what Herbie
Yeah,
says. By the way, I'm on
original.
my laptop, so therefore,
I'm on my laptop too, though. But I'm making sure that my reception is good. Said George Orr and Don, those idiots. That's people who jealous, envy, or have self-hatred, colorist, inferiority. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Irby, I tend to agree though because I'm like the people who are hurling the insults. I'm like, really, man, come on, man, dude. You look, just look at yourself in the mirror and then come back. All right, so stop.
I mean, unfortunately, you have ops that basically are projecting the insecurities on others.
pretty much.
I mean, if I was to give you a full description of what allegedly that been said about me, we'd be laughing. I mean, we'd be laughing for hours.
I mean, shoot.
And then I mean,
I mean, I
like
guess
also,
we got kind of like the same descriptions.
yeah, but also what's funny about that is, do you remember like when people on here were trying to come up with a consensus as to what constitutes like a biracial or a mixed race person and how you had to be below
No, I do
70?
not. I never really got the gist of that, but please elaborate.
Yeah, essentially the context is that the consensus was about what constitutes I guess a mixed race person in terms of like percentages. Some think that you have to be like 25% or over something. Some think that you have to be now 70% below something, and then something else having to be the other in order for it to, I guess you could say, qualify. Well, I think some months ago, people already made up a consensus about that. Well, if that's the case, then me, Creole Lady Marmalade, and her daughters pretty much fit that picture. So that leads me to ask, you know, why use the word black as an insult then, if we happen to fit that grade? I'll be waiting for a response.
Georgia, you're going to be waiting for a long time.
It probably will never be answered, but no,
I mean,
I'm not even making these points though. I mean, this is not a consensus coming from me. This is just a arbitrary consensus coming from others. So, and I'm just saying that me, the other girl, and her daughters, well, we fit the picture according to like DNA and just hey, how we personally identify. So, I'm just trying to make sure how to have all this stuff make sense, and I'm just extrapolating from this consensus. So it's just only fair to just
Gotcha.
ask.
But then the term biracial, it differs from what I've seen, it differs from different countries. You have people who are biracial in Europe, in certain parts of Asia, and then also in I could actually say South Africa. So if a person want to talk about the biracials and their identities and everything like that, there's like a lot of different facets to it. So I can't really get into that, but I've seen that. I mean, in my 2 years of stream here on YouTube.
Right.
Well,
You guys want to talk about how the elections and America has become more of a racial thing uh, than a than a actual uh, picking somebody that's qualified. And it's more like a racial benefit kind of thing. Be picked in base of our race.
yeah,
That's how we vote.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
I-
I don't know how to formulate that. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's a good open discussion there.
Yeah.
But if somebody would like to go first,
Well,
That's
I
good.
personally find it very sad that people are cutting ties. People are ending marriages, relationships, friendships over who they voted for. Okay, which means you're that obsessed with politics that you're going to divorce your spouse, that you're going to cut
Right.
ties with your own children, that you're going to cut ties with your parents, you're going to cut ties with your friends. I mean,
Does it
whatever
mean that?
happened to be agreeable when we disagree? I
Oh
mean,
yes. That's what
I mean,
voting is. The
yes, you agree.
freedom
That's
of
lunacy.
yeah.
to pick.
yeah,
mean, look-
there's
I'm sorry.
there's just a point in time in which people could actually disagree on a civil level, though. But nowadays, yeah, you're going to find people being at each other's throats over the slightest disagreements. But
Especially in politics and religion.
oh, I for sure agree, Lumar.
Yeah.
But I would say that I do feel that it's a little bit more ideological than it is racially rooted. Why?
Mhm.
Because we all are familiar with that expression, not all skin folk is kinfolk. Now,
Mhm.
it's common to be heard in the black community, but Hispanics use it too. And even the white community, they apply that to themselves too, though they may not specifically say not all skin folk is kinfolk, but they display that in their actions too. And then plus, like if we really look at like the racial demographics of those like who voted in the election though, and those who voted for Trump, we see a little over like half of Latino men voted for Trump, almost a quarter of black men who voted for Trump, almost a little over 1/3 of Latinas who voted for him. And so then we look at that and compare it to the other side. It seems like it's a little more ideological. But
What
I
does
don't
ideological mean? It means like based on what they're presenting as a
yes, yes, ideas where you want to see the country go. What
okay.
policies you want to enforce though, what values you want to base your country on. And
Right.
the nation spoke, and a lot of black men spoke about it, a lot of Hispanic and white women, they spoke about it. A lot of them ended up coming in droves for
Yeah.
Trump, to where now like the country is a lot redder than it is blue. And even for my home state of California too, which 40% of it is now red from a historical standpoint. So
But it was they turned that state over. Did they turn it, or it was always red?
historically, my home state of Cali was red.
Democratic. Oh, it
Yeah.
was red.
It was
Oh.
red though. It was red up until the 1988 election. And it
Okay.
was, yeah, but if you look at the electoral college map and you compare it
Yeah.
from 2020 to 2024, now Cali is it's a lot more red now than it has been in almost 40 years.
Okay.
So
The Democratic Party hasn't been, presenting very good candidates, though.
no,
I would say, in my opinion,
Mhm.
like Kamala Harris.
You're gonna go around and sever your family over that.
Yeah. That's a little ignorant. Yeah.
that shows volumes
Yeah.
of your loyalty and who you are, and maybe your family bond. That's my view
Yes.
of it.
Yes. Yes. Because that speaks volumes about how you guys like live your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people.
Yeah.
I mean, people. I mean, people don't want to admit it, but it's just that Donald Trump did a more convincing job convincing voters that he cares about the issue than Kamala Harris did. It is that simple.
Mm.
Yep.
And the nation spoke, as you said,
And
Jose.
I actually believe that and I believe that the Democrats had like a little time or no time preparing. So therefore, people who are actually immature on actually losing and such are blaming everybody except for themselves. I'm not for the Democrats either, but I'm just gonna go around and talk about actuality. If you have a whole party that was not prepared, and you had somebody that ran on the issues, who do you think is gonna win? I
The
mean, we could
person,
feel how we want, but we're just I'm just telling you from a campaign standpoint.
Yeah, the candidate who was clearly a lot more personable with everybody, a person saying they're going to get back to the working class, or person who's going to, cater
Yeah.
to people of faith, which 66% of the country still identifies as Christian. Well, Trump did a fine, good job at appealing to black men, Hispanics, women, white men, and the working class, and people of the Christian faith, because he sure as heck is not going to tell Christians that they are at the wrong rally, which is what Kamala did, unless you're
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
at
That
66%.
that might be one of the reasons why a lot of divorces came about because um not divorces but like people were like having differences in their marriages due to the fact that they had this perception that she was against Christians, and that alone was, you know what I'm saying, like if you were to vote for her you were anti-Christian, uh,
Yeah.
to an extent.
hmm
Well,
Because if
see,
you look at what J.D. Vance said, he said that, yeah, that's right, he is king. Jesus is king. If you compare that his video to Kamala's, you can clearly spot a difference. Sorry, Jose, go.
see, I'm a Christian, but I voted for Kamala Harris because I had issues regarding things like Project 2025, him trying to weaken the system of checks and balances, also trying to get rid of the Department of Education and talking about eliminating thousands of unionized federal employees. As a union person, I had huge issues with those items.
And that's understandable. And obviously, I did not vote for Kamala, as you already know, my brother Jose,
Mhm.
because even Jesus said in his own words that if you deny me, then I will deny you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So there you go.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah, a
where I
lot of
stand.
people agree with you.
I mean,
But
I'm a Christian and all,
mhm.
and I could say that I did not vote for either Trump or Kamala because I believe that not so much Trump, but you have certain people who is actually of they do not like what he's saying or whatsoever, and you have certain
Hmm.
people that will be like, okay, he might be Christian, he might be having values, and certain people they say that he's not. So my thing is that you have certain people who have hatred in their hearts following Trump. The other part is that I did not like Kamala because for people who are parents and everything like that, she went up and with her campaign, actually disregarded their rights on how they want to raise their child. Because if it was under Kamala, she was gonna go and try to force schools to actually give hormone blocking drugs to kids that might think that they're of another sexuality or another sexual
Right.
preference. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not a parent, but I was actually against that. So that's my view that
Yeah.
I actually went to a third party candidate because of that.
Yeah, man. Like that also turned off a lot of people, though, including even people who may even consider themselves to be liberal, though.
Liberals.
But yeah, even in, by the way, in my home state of Berkeley, California, which people call it the left wing Mecca,
Mhm.
even I have a friend over there who told me in private that, oh, yeah, transitioning kids can cause cancer. Yes, it can. The hormone therapy can do that, though. And that, Dawn, I feel, turned off a lot of people. And she was
Oh,
very much campaigning hard for.
Exactly.
Whereas Trump, even in one of his recent like updates, he says that, hey, we're going to cut off federal funds to anybody who does that, because saying that kids can take, hormone therapy is ridiculous, as he described it in the video. That turned on a lot of people. Whereas if you're for that, you're going to turn off a lot of
Yep.
people. So I was not expecting her to win at all, to be honest.
Me neither.
Mm-mm.
yo, I just realized how.
Great.
Cause
You know how they say that they put things in the media for us to desensitize us? That just brought me back to
right.
when Dwayne Wade and his kid, how that was something for the media for us to get familiar with that type of thing when they did it that time, when they publicly did it to their kid, to their son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me personally, I don't know. I do not know anything about Dwayne Wade because I see him in the news whatsoever. But then the way that they were pushing like Dwayne Wade and his kid and whatsoever, I just actually paid no mind to it.
Yeah, but they put it out there for us to, like see and get desensitized, I believe, through the media. That makes me believe like like that's the agenda that they're trying to push, the powers that be. Like ultimately they're
Right.
trying to push that agenda.
Yep.
The former NBA star, huh?
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's no way that I feel that. I mean, yeah, I think that people have grown a little bit desensitized to it, though. But when they start to just see how the harmful effects can just really come about from stuff like that,
Right.
it's going to be hard to ignore something like that, or hard to become
So like in
sensitized.
10 years, you think that won't be like running wild? Like the bathrooms, I believe, are going to be. I think in school they were talking about something like that. Like in school, that you get to pick what bathroom you go into. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but something like that they were speaking of.
Even in my home state of Berkeley, man,
I know. I
you're
do
out.
know that they had to. Right.
Well, you're not going to believe this, guys, but
What?
in part of our training, we were taught that so when we need to go to the bathroom, we are instructed to say the men's room's over here, the ladies' room's over there, and the unisex bathroom is over there.
There's a unisex bathroom then? I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with that one. Oh shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they are implementing those things, and like
At least
at
as
the
far as city
workplace.
agency, at least as far as my agency is concerned.
I see. I
True.
see. And are there any unisex employees in that
I'm sure
facility?
there are employees whose sexual identity is undefined.
It's a non-binary.
Right. It's not you're not a boy or girl.
Right.
Right.
You're whatever else. Okay.
Definitely. Like for example, like Lumar. Can I ask you something, man?
Go ahead.
What is a woman?
A woman.
Hmm.
A woman is uh a female there's either a male or a female at birth, like when you're being formed in the egg. So the sex is determined by, I mean, it's not determined, but like you come out either a male or female, and depending on your sexual organs, I believe that determines what you are. So a woman would be a female with female parts,
Right.
and also I don't know genetically if there's DNA anything. I don't know about, if there's a difference there, but I would say a woman is a person with female parts, organs.
Got it. Because, well, can you see how it was quite sad and pitiful that I even had to ask the question? Because that was a question that even Kamala and Joe Biden were pushing too. And you can see why they lost, because it's quite sad that I even had to ask that question about what a woman is.
But what is the correct answer?
According to the modern day definition as to what the correct answer is that a woman is an idea.
Okay.
And it's based on your mental state. So if you
Holy
feel like
shit.
you're a woman right now,
Yeah.
you
Then you're a
identify
woman. Yeah, but not biologically. Like isn't that
biology
really,
doesn't matter.
what?
If you look it up, man. So even Joe Biden
Dude.
was pretty much on that bandwagon. I'm just like, you're over 80 years old, man.
Yeah.
If you really
Oh,
have
that's
the
so bad.
audacity to ask what a woman
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you can see why she lost.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's going you were going way too far. If now
Yeah.
if you're gonna start asking what is a woman. So Irby in the chat, I'm like, so Irby, I feel like I'm a woman today, and I'm just as much of a woman as your mama. So therefore, let me into the room because I'm a woman.
I mean, I don't know how it would feel to be a person that would feel that I am a woman inside. So I can't really, like, I can't really judge that person or even the idea. But it should be a biological thing when you're talking about a gender, whether male or female. It should be like just like an animal. You determine an animal's sex, whether they're woman or male or female, by
That's
the
not what they
biological. Yeah.
That's not what they believe nowadays. If you want to be a woman now, Lamar, you can
Yeah.
become one.
How?
See,
Because I believe men and women are totally different species.
That's not the case nowadays. Being a woman
Yeah,
is just
it's
now
like
lost.
So no matter how much you want to be a woman, you can't really be a woman.
I guess so. Can you
You
see
can't
how
think like a woman does.
complicated it is?
it's like
Yeah.
Even to where that guy
it's like,
saying?
I don't
John
know.
Walsh had to
You
make
have-
a documentary
you
about
have
what
a
a
whole-
woman is. Go on, Jose. I mean, go on, Don.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah. I remember my homegirl. Shout out to Xtina, by the way. She actually went up and had to define what a woman is to certain people. But then when that guy went up, I saw little excerpts of that documentary on what is a woman. You had certain people that actually try to physically attack the director, or I guess the guy that actually made the film. So my thing
John
is
Walsh.
this: if you were born a man, you're a man.
Mm.
If you're if you're born a woman, you're born a woman. So therefore, don't go around and try to. If you want to live your life the way that you want to, okay. But guess what? There's nothing that's going to change unless you're a hermaphrodite. Okay, then. But other than that, if you're born a woman, you're a woman. If you're a man, you're a man, and that's it. That's how I see it.
Uh, guys,
Preach.
guys, but we forget we must allow the genders to flow freely.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I'm
Right.
not saying it should be black and white either, but
True. And Don,
Right.
you were preaching hard there, man, like you just got out of a sermon. But yeah, people are going to ask you, well, I mean, you see how, Don, they made this so confusing, because then it's going to make the average person now start to ask, well, Don, who is your wife? What is she? And who
For
have
real,
you
right?
been
You actually
with
look at
for
it,
all
right?
of these years?
all right, let's put
But
it this
people are
way.
gonna live.
Everybody has kids here,
I
right?
don't.
Well, I don't.
Neither do
Oh,
I.
okay.
Are we?
My,
No.
my son is dead, so I'm a
Well,
parent
you
of a
guys
dead.
don't have kids?
So I used to do
Actually, his wife is
Right.
more of um, how should I say it? The alternate parental figure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. No, but what I was trying to get to is, let's say you have a kid and he turns out to believe these things in his head, and it's so you like he can't hide it so much that he even acts this way. He just like it's like all like you can't even tell like that he's a normal like kid. You could tell like that he has um he wants to be a woman, like you know what I'm saying, like um in those cases, like in order for them to be happy or feel like they are being themselves, um you would have to understand what they're going through and have a little bit of empathy and understanding. Now, America's supposed to be land of the free. You're supposed to do whatever the fuck you want, right?
Right.
So these politicians leaning towards
Right. Right.
this idea, even though it is a little bit sick in the head because they're kids, it's still the American way of thinking and of having you having the freedom to choose and live the way you want without us, the government, controlling what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like the religious thing. I know it did fuck me up when Kamala Harris did say the stuff about denying Christianity or whatever. But America, like I remember in school,
Right.
they would never talk about religion because it was a touchy subject. A lot of people had different ideas and different, religions, so they kept it out of, the the political things,
Right.
So is this whatever this is happening, whatever they're doing or whatever they believing, is it because that's the American way to, let people be free and happy?
True, but it doesn't really mean that that kind of stuff has to be shoved down like other people's throats. So, like when it comes
Yeah,
for
but where does the harm come in?
the harm comes in when it comes to gender dysphoria, though, is that it is basically pushing mental illness on somebody else, and then plus, very, very, very few people ever get diagnosed with something like gender dysphoria. That's like less than 1% of the population,
Mhm.
and so it's
Gender
not.
dysphoria is
That's basically where that's the disorder where you are convinced that you were born in the wrong body.
so
And
is
that,
that a mental illness thing?
yes,
It is. It's because you're
yes,
confused.
yes. It's a
Oh.
disorder though. Even if you go like on here though, you look up like trans, like
Yeah,
in
transex. Yeah, you would never meet a sane transsexual person because they cannot be happy mentally. They have this illness. Yes.
people like that were well, I cannot say it on the the stream here, but it starts with an R.
Right, right.
A lot of those people were actually, if you really get close to them, if you listen to them, they'll tell you they have
They
been,
have some sexual trauma.
yes,
Yes,
I've met them
actually,
before, and I actually had a few friends who went down that route and talk to them. They're going to tell you, yes, it's there.
Mm. So,
um,
oh shit! So it comes from being
Yeah.
R.
Yes, even Blair White, who was a trans influencer, said that it's partially a trauma response.
Holy shit!
Now,
Go ahead, guys.
I'm
You
not.
I think
I, as you know, I was. But one thing that I've actually seen with the LGBTs. So with that, I'm just gonna go and say an excerpt of from what I've read. Certain people having
shit.
his right as a heterosexual man, meaning he was like, okay, I don't like transgender.
Damn, I
So
mean,
you the heck
like,
you gonna bash the man for liking what he likes, and which is a woman who was actually born a woman.
okay.
So my thing is that if one side is actually screaming intolerance and whatsoever, but yet being intolerant towards people's faiths or their well-being or their morals, I'm like,
Oh, the
stop
morals. Damn, that
yelling
makes sense.
tolerance then
Yeah. That makes sense.
if you're not gonna go.
You're gonna be tolerating my morals and my ideals. Yeah. But isn't it like a little fucked up to judge somebody based on what they
Let's
were
see what.
put through? Like, let's say somebody got R, right? Like they're victims. How would we're supposed to say, oh no, that's a sickness due to this, that, and the third. You're sick in the head, and we're gonna take it out of you. We're gonna
I'll say
make you
this
right.
as
You know.
where me, Don, and Jose come in as actually a firm believing, Bible believing Christians. We need to have nothing but absolute compassion, empathy, and love, regardless of where somebody came from or regardless of what kind of trauma transpired in their background. We should actually take them in, though, and just have the kind of compassion that recognizes the problem, truly shows them the love, and
But teach them the
inspires
right way, right? Pretty much.
ultimately, because it's all a matter of not only coming as you are, but not staying as you are.
Right.
So, dude, man, I'll be honest though, but let's just say I actually have been, well, I'm not exactly like that, but I definitely have experienced some kind of sexual assault before in my lifetime too.
Me too. Me too. I'm not gonna
mhm.
lie.
Yes,
Well,
but the truth of the matter is that, I receive nothing more but love from like my supporters.
Right.
However, though, the world's not going to tiptoe around whatever my issues or traumas.
Right.
I have to take ownership
Right.
of it.
Right. If not, then you're gonna go through your mental issues. Yes.
Bingo. You got
Yeah.
it.
You understand.
um, while we have in my union, we have a group that's specifically for the LGBTQ plus community. Okay, because my union is a very progressive union. Now, it was just announced that they're going to have what's called a drag story hour event.
Drag
Where,
queen story.
yeah, so actually, you're going to have individuals in drag reading stories to children.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's right, man. I heard that.
Okay. So when I came across that, it's like, excuse
Yeah.
me, this is the first time hearing that. Would you be so kind to amplify that a little bit further? Because face it, in my circles, I mean, I have heard about. Okay, I heard about people in drag reading stories to children. So that's what it is. And then they asked me 1 to 10. I said, well, no, thank you. Okay. Look, I have no problem uh, how a person chooses to wish to lead their life as they see fit. But there's certain things I would not do. Uh,
Yeah, you shouldn't
Telling
tell
in
somebody's
advance.
sexual preference to a kid. A kid should not be exposed to that information. But a person's sexual preferences or what, you know, that's
That's
very,
very inappropriate.
very.
One thing which I actually disagree with that is that it's the parents that has to go around and be the first ones to actually sit down with their kids and actually talk about the birds and the bees, not the school system. And especially
Yeah,
if a
but by
kid
the
is
time
like
you get to
5
the
years
birds and the
old,
bees, hmm oh, you talk
right?
to the birds and the bees. Isn't that around like 12 years old or 9?
I
Okay,
mean,
I
it
think the age
depends.
is different. Simon, I think the age is different depending on the child's maturity level because you have some
Right.
children even at age 12, they're not all that mature.
Right.
Um,
And you have
now
some
this,
kids that are super advanced due to like TV and the internet, so they hear a bunch of sexual things all the time. So you know, sometimes you gotta catch them early.
yeah,
Exactly.
Due
Like for
to
um,
example,
technology, yes.
because
yeah.
like for example, Lumar. How do you feel about the title of this book, which is literally a children's book, by the way? You can even look it up too if you want. So the
Go ahead.
title of the children's book, and yeah, that's right, I said children's book.
Hmm.
The title is like this, and tell me how you feel about it or what you think. The title of the book is In My Daddy's Belly.
Yeah, salute Black Cuddy.
Hmm.
What?
I'm dead. You want me to
Is it nonfiction?
It has to
uh
be fictional.
it's actually real. I could actually just pull it up and actually show you. Look. Well, I can't see it on my
Well,
phone, but
Yeah, you can see
yeah,
it.
sorry.
yeah.
My bad though. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that glare. But yeah, that's the title is
I mean, it happens.
My Daddy's Belly. How's that? You can look it up on Amazon. That's what it says. My Daddy's
Like,
Belly.
are you for real?
I'm definitely for real, Dawn. All you gotta do is go onto Amazon, look up "In My Daddy's Belly" by Logan Brown. What tips
You
for
guys see my
parents?
screen right
Helpful
there?
resources. This.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Um, that's
Wow.
guys.
Crazy.
That's not even the worst. That's not even the worst.
And there's two daddies.
Hold on, 1 second. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
There.
that's crazy right there.
Guys, you want to hear what's even
Alright.
crazier?
All right.
There was a lesbian pastor. Yes, a
All right.
lesbian pastor that basically she took the Apostle Creed and basically made it up like Jesus actually had two daddies, and Jesus might be possibly gay.
What?
What? That's
Where
Like
did
Jesus
you
had
get
two
that from?
daddies.
No. I'll top that. Jose. There was two gay pastors, right? A gay pastor and his husband, right? That went and tried to say that King David and Jonathan, that their friendship was a gay relationship. I'm like,
yep.
you
Mhm.
really trying to twist the words of the Bible, and you're gonna trust the word of the Torah to go around and to push this agenda. I was like, nah, I don't support that. My mom
I
ain't
don't
teach me that.
Okay,
My
okay.
pops ain't
First,
teach me
okay,
that. So I'm
okay,
like, nah.
okay.
It's
First of
ridiculous. Sorry, go on, Jose.
Okay, first of all, any man that was caught engaging in activities with another man, which normally would be associated with a woman, that person would be stoned to death. So I hear people talking about the Bible does not talk about
But
homosexual
weren't they
behavior.
weren't they some brutal times? I remember Alexander was homosexual or bisexual.
Yeah, but
Alexander the Great.
but Alexander was not really in the Bible. So
Oh,
if you really look at it, it was different society. They actually engaged in that. But when we're
Yeah,
actually talking about the Bible, well, the Israelites, if a person was actually of that lifestyle or did those type of acts, 9 times
they would
out of
stone him.
10, the elders or people or people will be deleted. Well, in either way, it could be stoned,
No, they were stoned to
it
death.
could be a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah.
because that was law back in those days.
So let's say, oh, okay. So that's homosexuality. Is it a spirit?
I mean,
Or it's
people
just
can.
Certain people
mental
have said
trauma?
that, but
Hello from San Antonio.
hmm,
I'm Max Lucado, author.
But see, this is the thing.
okay,
I think it is a spirit of homosexuality because I mean people that actually talk about that person is born that way. What? Okay, but then again, then how do you explain the biblical accounting of Sodom and Gomorrah? How about you talk about in the first chapter of Romans where it talks about how God gave up these men to their own sexual perversions and things of that nature.
Yes. Good point.
Okay, so excuse me, the Bible is very clear on it. Okay,
Yeah,
the
I know.
problem is, and and this is I'm no way judging members of the LGBT community.
same.
Okay,
Same here.
but when you have people who truly believe they were born that way, and then they operate that way, and then they're trying to get God to sanction their conduct. I'm sorry, no, that you're going way off the wagon on that one.
Is sex supposed to be? What importance would sex be in a person's life? Like would you say? Uh, would it be like from 1 to 10? Like 10
the
being very important.
It would depend on members of the community. Okay, um,
No, no,
I guess
as a personal choice. Like what importance should sex have in your life, like as a normal person? Because
If
it
I were,
is very important a little bit. Like
if I were happily involved with the right woman who I loved and was married to, it would be another important aspect of our relationship, that's for sure.
right of a relationship. Yes.
Pretty important though, whereas yes, I do hope that we do actually have that good chemistry, of course.
So
Absolutely.
so family is like so that should be more important than sex and before sex, and then sex comes after with your partner and your relationship, right? An importance level, right?
Depending on our level of suitability, yes.
Okay.
Because the last thing I want to do now is get in bed with the wrong woman though, and then you go from there, and then a lot of disastrous stuff can just happen from there.
Okay.
yeah.
So when a kid is talking about he's identifies as a female, isn't that putting the sexual part first, or And the sexual need or urges of a human instead of their instead of just being it's more sex driven of an idea than just sexual preference or identification. It's more like um not sexual as in male and female, sexual as in fornication and stuff, right?
Yes, I can just tell you this though, like being around a lot of those people, that being close to them too, and even diving
They're
deep
very
into.
promiscuous.
Yes,
Yes, I believe that too. They're more promiscuous and sex driven.
yes,
And
even a person in that community will tell you that though. Now, this is not to say that other communities cannot have or display promiscuous behaviors. It's just for this very small demographic of people, these are some very common patterns that you can't help but notice. And then also,
yeah,
the self-esteem is very, very fragile in those communities to where they will find self-worth through promiscuity, grinder, and pornography and hookups.
yes. Okay, because they feel so what's that, insecure about how they live in, that they seek validation through sexual
Mm.
encounters,
Yes.
and that drives a little bit of the promiscuity in
Yes.
in their behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're nonstop on Grinder. They're nonstop on Grinder.
And if you really want my honest truth, though, I mean, and Lumar, just in my belief, though, I mean, like, sex is just a lot more than just some little physical thing that you're doing. I think that there's actually a very strong spiritual component to
Yeah,
sex
me
as
too.
well.
Me too. Me
You
too.
guys are kind of now yoking each other's like spirits together, and
Right.
I think you would probably think twice
Who
uh,
you sleep with? Yeah, yeah.
if you can see that this person's like spirit is that horribly damaged. If you really, really looked inward though, and you look into like their eyes though, which is are like windows open into their soul. If
Mhm.
you see that it's that horribly damaged, I think you think twice about
And
getting down.
the spiritual
Right.
damage comes from the way you live your life or the choices you make in your life.
Yes.
So, like, let's say if you were a person that was addicted to drugs, right? And you live
Yes.
a shitty ass life, and you have sex with that person, right? So you're inviting in their spirit. I mean, their spirits come into you, even though you have a genuine attraction for that person, and that person is a drug addict not by choice, but because they can't help it.
Yes.
That's
So
still uh,
yes, it's just because like like you're also exchanging a lot of these energies too, though. Like for instance, so like like if a person, like let's just say Lumar, you meet like a nice a girl though, and you find her to be pretty physically attractive, but then when you really start to get to know her though, you really think that like she has all these demons going on though, or she's speaking or she's treating other people a certain way. That in itself can already reveal like the soul wounds that she's dealing with. And are those soul wounds something that you're going to want to take on?
everybody has soul wounds, though, no?
Yes.
Mhm. I mean, if you think
So you have
about
to
it,
deal with them. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, if you think about it, like the Roman emperors, I mean, some of them were notoriously,
Yeah.
homosexual. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Hadrian had this young male lover called Antinous,
And they were openly
who actually,
homosexual.
yes, who accidentally drowned. So basically, what he did was he created a cult regarding his gay lover. There was another Roman emperor named Aragapolis, um, who was a priest of Agabal, and his form of worship was actually having sexual orgies with men and women, and he wanted to pay someone to have an altar to be going from a male to a female.
Yeah. So back in the day, these
Yeah.
people were they were doing bisexual acts and stuff in public and stuff, and
Mhm. Yeah.
um and passing over the spirits. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you actually really look at it, though, um, there was just one study which found that at least, like, I think a little under 25% of that community has had at least 1,000 sex partners. I'm like, whoa, what?
Whoa.
You're
If you look,
kidding.
I'm not making this up. You can look it up
Wait, you
yourself.
said how much? How many percent?
A little under 25%.
Okay. Damn.
1,000.
Um.
Whoa.
So basically, they're a community service, so to speak, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
That's due to the like the hookups are just like so much quicker than a regular male and female relationship. I believe. I know men and female do hook up on the first night sometimes and do have one night stands, but I believe that uh they just hook up so quickly, and it's just like something so simple and meaningless who they hook up with, that's why they have so much numbers.
Well, guys, when I met my ex-wife for the first time in the DR, okay, I'm gonna try to keep it G-rated. She wanted to know me biblically. Or Georgia understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, you could get PG-13. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm older.
Okay, so it's like, no, I am not going to do that with you. Okay, can I get to know you first? Because my thinking, if she's willing to do
Yeah.
that stuff, to me, how many guys she actually did it to? And it's the same thing. Late last year, I met this lady. Well, they eventually had to block because she was giving me fatal attraction vibes.
Fatal attraction.
So I call her, and all of a sudden she's talking about, oh, when you come to my apartment, we're gonna make love. You're gonna do this to me. You're gonna do that to me. It's like, what?
Basically,
What?
Jose, I guess to sum it all up, though, when it comes to like soul wounds or just a person's spiritual state, think of Jezebel.
Yeah.
There you go. Jezebel.
Yeah. That's a good example right there.
Do you want
And
to
just to give you an idea, the last time I engaged in intercourse when I was actually married.
Yeah. So you believe in waiting for marriage before?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, I do.
It's the best way to go, to be honest. It for sure
Why
is.
is that?
It for sure is hard, but that actually is the best route to go. Because when you guys are getting to know each other, you guys are figuring out each other, though. At
And it's not
least
sexually driven.
Yes, at least you guys will know that, okay, you're somebody who I will be cool with not only sharing each other's legs with, but I'm cool with sharing each other's bank accounts because, when I'm married with the right woman this time, I'll give her access to my bank account. She can have my social. She can have my life. We can have each other's lives. I'm all for that, but I'm also going to wait for marriage too on that.
Yeah.
You might just like Billy Graham, who we're all familiar with, though, said back in the day in one of his sermons, "Be careful who you marry.
Yeah, that.
Be careful who you get in bed with too."
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you pick it, like, aren't you stuck with that person forever? Like, there's no turning back. I believe in not divorcing no matter what either.
Um,
Doesn't the Bible say like you're supposed to not get divorced?
Okay.
It's frowned upon, though, but in cases like adultery, abuse, or if the person just decides to forsake you, then yes, those would be biblical grounds for divorce. I'm like, hell yeah, man, dude. I will be honest. Like, yeah, if I were cheated on, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That there is a biblical ground for divorce. So I am not the kind of Christian who believes that divorce is only for widows or remarriage is only for widows. No. That's actually not biblical. And actually, the Lord, actually, according to the book of Malachi, tends to get very angry with spousal abusers too, by the way.
Yeah.
And that he can disintegrate a marriage if spousal abuse is too much of a pattern. It does happen. Yeah. And no, you do not have to stay married to a person who just can't stop committing spousal abuse. Goodbye. If that's the case.
Or adultery.
Yeah. Now, in the Catholic Church, which I am a member, for any practicing Catholic who wishes to marry, particularly married within the church, they have to engage what's called as pre-Cana. And pre-Cana, what it is preparation for marriage, things like how to, like the morals, how to raise children, how to deal with marital situations. Because the fact of the matter is, we don't believe in divorce. I mean, yeah, you can get the marriage annulled, but then again, it's not an easy process for the annulment.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the Catholic Church, it's just considered to be just a very precious sacrament too.
Yeah.
But yeah, ideally, yeah, in the church, and even not only just that though, but even in a number of Protestant churches, it's the same case. And some pastors will just straight up tell you that, hey, the only time where you can truly get remarried is if somebody drops dead.
Yeah.
It's not the case. And then also we got to remember that not every marriage is even God ordained. So there's that. Yeah. And if every marriage is not God ordained, then what's the point?
Yeah. But the vows that you take in sickness and in health, like that means whatever comes. Mm-hmm. Like, so death do us part,
Means nothing if it's not God ordained.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, in the Catholic Church, there's 3 different types of wedding ceremonies. There's a wedding ceremony if both parties are Catholic. There's one where one is Catholic and one is Christian from a different denomination. And then there's a third wedding ceremony with someone's Catholic and the person's not even Christian at all.
That's interesting.
I didn't know that because my brother, he's Catholic, and when I went to the wedding and everything like that, I didn't know what faith his wife was at the time. So I just thought that, okay, you just took somebody who was a non-Catholic, and then when they got married to you, they got married into the faith. That's what I thought. But then, thanks for clarifying that for me.
Nice.
No, but okay. Let me illustrate a point. Let's say I was to fall in love with someone from Georgia's family. Okay. And,
right.
And let's say that person is a Christian, but does not share my doctrinal beliefs. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there'll be a different wedding ceremony. Of course, in my case, I would have to have permission from the diocese to marry outside my faith. Because the ideal situation that a Catholic should marry another Catholic, but sometimes you fall in love with someone who's a believer who's not Catholic.
Yeah, it would be like me getting with a woman from your church.
Okay. Well, if in the case of you, Georgia, you and your fiance will have to have a serious discussion. Okay. Then depending how you wish to proceed, you may want to speak to a parish priest, and basically they can perform a wedding ceremony but it'll be a type that between a Catholic and a Catholic and a non-Catholic Christian. Of course, she will have to have permission from her diocese to go to marry outside the faith.
Right.
Basically, to let the diocese know that, yeah, he may be a Protestant, but we're still Team Jesus,
Exactly.
or an Orthodox.
Yep.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be like a
Nah,
Catholic
but
mainline Protestant, or non-denominational.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Nah, but you know what? From what I'm hearing and everything like that, I've been hearing that like the Orthodox, they all came to a agreement that if a person is either an Egyptian Orthodox or Ethiopian Orthodox or an Eastern Orthodox, they're all the same thing. And if if either one of those people in those churches get married, it's going to be respected by all the Orthodox as an Orthodox marriage. And I
Because
actually find that very cool.
well, because they are in communion with whatever Orthodox church or churches that they belong to. We have okay, we have Catholics, which is part of the what's going on as Catholics of the Roman Rite, and then we have Catholics of the Byzantine Rite. But yet these are Catholics which are for communion Rome. It's just that their services are a little different.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, now, I'm not saying all, but just some. Some in the Catholic communities just feel that the Orthodox, they have a good heart, but they are schismatic, or degrade, or just those who have formed their own schism. That's what they call it, schism or schismatic. Whereas some in the Catholic Church just
Yeah.
feel like, hey, just the Protestants are just flat out heretics because they just now rejected everything within the Catholic and Orthodox traditions.
See, in my case, I don't consider Giorgio a heretic. It's
Oh,
just that
believe you me, man. I got my haters too, the Catholic Church. Oh, George, dude, I thought you were Catholic. Weren't your ancestors Catholic? I'm like, yes. So how could you betray them, you heretic? I'm just like, okay. Talking like that is actually what you call the religious spirit, which is a demonic spirit. So think again. But go on.
okay, look, the bottom line, as long as you're team Jesus, that's all that counts. I mean, we can disagree with we can respectfully disagree regarding dogma and things of that nature. But as long as we leave in the basic tenet, that's what counts.
Yeah, because you're not going to call your
Right.
fellow Protestant brother a heretic, or your Greek Orthodox person a
No,
schism.
I mean, I don't even refer to you as my separate brethren. Okay, it's just that we have some differences when it comes to dogma. That's all.
Separated brethren. Yep. Or
Yeah.
that's
Right.
mm,
I mean, if you actually look at it, it's like I guess the world we actually got more mature over like the several hundred years or so because you had certain people that they was like, okay, you, we in the world we actually got to a point that I'm like, okay, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, we could actually fellowship together. So that's one thing I've seen like growing up because I had I could tell you the way I grew up. I had an aunt that was Catholic. My mom was Episcopalian. I had my other aunt who was I forgot what she was, but she was of no, not Baptist. It was in Pentecostal, but I know that she was certain type of Protestant. And then I've had cousins who were actually Christian or Catholic, and then my brother is Catholic. So when you actually look at the religious practices of my family, family, it differs. But there's one what part of or what you call yourself when you actually worshiping Christ.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just to give you a perfect example, let's say if I was invited to go to attend Georgia's congregation, I can participate. I can do everything except partake in a communion service because they believe it's only symbolism. It's symbolic.
Yeah,
In
you
good
believe
time.
in the transubstantiation of the
Right.
Holy Eucharist, but yeah, I don't believe that. I
Mhm.
have a completely different doctrinal belief when it comes to communion.
Yeah,
But yes, it's symbolic to me
yeah,
for
Yeah.
reasons I don't
and
really
yeah, and
explain.
I would, and in turn, if Georgia was to accompany me to a Catholic
But the thing
service,
is, though,
mass,
I could have never.
I'm sorry, if Georgia were to attend,
Yeah, I've been to Catholic
my,
mass a lot, but the thing is, though, I
okay,
never really.
I was not expect Georgia to receive communion because it's symbolic for him.
I would say this, to be honest with you, Jose. I would still drink um, from the Eucharist, but it would be something completely different to me. But I understand that people in the Catholic faith will feel a certain way about that. So maybe at your particular church, maybe I wouldn't, but I still would have communion, but it would just mean something different to me. But question is, I don't think they really have to know about where I really stand at your church if I come and visit you and I check out
No,
that.
you do not. And actually, no. And I would first of all, I wouldn't expect you to get up.
I would actually go with you.
Okay. Now, what you can do, I'm just gonna put on my camera just to illustrate. Okay. What you can do, you can go up and do this. And
Mhm.
what you would do is you will receive a blessing from the priest. You don't have to, so you don't have to consume the wafer or to partake from the wine. But really, in my archdiocese, they we don't drink from the wine because of COVID-19. So you can do that, and that way you do not violate your your doctrinal beliefs, that being symbolic.
Long story short, the Lord will still know exactly what I'm doing
Yep.
and how it rolls. So it's more important about what He thinks, not even what I think in terms of doctrine.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, like I said before, I'm not your typical Catholic because I don't have statues.
Mhm.
Never had, never will.
Well, yeah, obviously me and Gigi are for sure Protestant leading.
And that's perfect, and that's perfectly fine. I don't even like using the term separate brethren. I just say follow believers. It's just that we
Do,
have doctrinal differences. That's all.
do folks at your church use the term separated brethren
Exactly.
for that?
Some of them do. Yeah, I don't. And believe me, there are times I have to have I have to have a serious talking with my Catholic brethren at times.
So I guess you do have a couple folks who feel as though like the Protestant Christians are just now heretics.
Unfortunately, some of my fellow Catholics think that way. Okay, and even almost 60 years since Vatican II, there's still Catholics that think that way.
Mhm.
But all we can do is pray for them.
Agreed. Because that's acting like the Pharisees. You know that, right?
Exactly.
Acting like the Pharisees, and that's not something that you want to act like.
Now,
Because
in all fairness, there's been a couple of times where I attended services from non-denominational churches where people were preaching that were ex-Catholic and actually didn't have too many kind words regarding their fellow Catholic brethren.
yeah, it's on both sides. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is unfortunate, and again, as long as you believe in the basic tenets of the gospel, that's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Don Armando is having some technical difficulties on his side, um, but I mean, when everything gets said, the sad part is that the message of the gospel is very simple. Man has made it complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Lumar, you've been quiet. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here,
okay,
just listening.
okay,
Got it. Do you have a platform too, by the way?
Yeah, but it's Spanish mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
It's like a music driven.
Maybe maybe you can type it in the chat, or
Yeah.
that's in or
I can.
that's the name of your chat.
That. Oh no, actually no. My channel is Lumor777 on Instagram, but it's just I just didn't have the
Okay.
777. Yeah, but like
Okay.
I'm more in the urban side of music, so it's a little bit like a little bit for kids. Put it that way. It's not for mature people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like it's side by side with like gossip and like hip hop and a lot of confrontational
Got
stuff.
you.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I happen to have a YouTube channel myself.
Cool. Like, and you talk to
All
people,
right, I'm back.
different people about different things. What do you do on the
Yeah.
channel?
All right.
What it is, it's an open forum channel. We talk about everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions.
Interesting. I kind of started with that, but then I didn't have like the people to do it with, so I kind of had to like just go to the music thing because
Mhm.
I wasn't finding a lot of people to interact with and have conversations with.
Yep.
So if you go into the chat, that's the name of my YouTube channel. Don Armando's been a freaking guest, also Giorgio as well.
Yep.
So, Irby, question: When you gonna start your YouTube channel?
Good question.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I know. Group Inc. The company with my last name, even though I don't own it. Oh yeah, and shout out to Royal X in the check-in. That's been a good friend of mine for a lot of years. He's a good artist.
Don Armando, I seen you picked up a couple of subs lately.
Hopefully they'll be something something good. Hopefully I'll get to my goal at the end of the year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's possible. You said two blemonistas
Yep.
on YouTube. Okay.
Oh yeah, shout out to Antonio Modesto Milan.
Yes, welcome aboard. Welcome. Good evening.
Yeah, to Antonio Modesto Milan. He actually. Yep.
Yeah. Well, next year I plan to do a little traveling.
But
Tell us where.
Well, actually, early next year I plan to go to DC for the weekend.
Oh, nice. That's like a few hours away from you.
yeah, I'm planning to do that too. Also.
So I may be visiting our friend Xtina.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours away from. Yeah, it's like 3 hours away from Philly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, considering she actually traveled to New York, so therefore it's only nice that I do return the favor and travel down there.
Because the train ride, let's say from Philly to New York, that's 2 hours, right?
I think it's an hour after 2 hours.
Got it, though, because then that's where you two met.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I know Lou Mars, he's on.
But like, if you actually go on Amtrak, it's actually an hour.
Oh wow. Okay. Amtrak. So is that a little extra?
Well, I think it all depends on the time of the day.
Guess he's gonna come.
Yeah, because I just also pulled up my Google Maps and to drive.
To Irby, Yeah.
To drive, though, I see about an hour and a half apart from each other if you guys are going to drive, and tolls are required too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't drive yet, so I just do what I got to do.
Yep, I do for sure. So I'll be expected to pass through places like Burlington, Trenton, Levittown, and into Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thing is, I know it's going to be getting cold.
Well, that never bothers me.
It doesn't bother me too. Because I could see that by next Tuesday, like Dawn, you're going to have a low of 25 degrees and a high of 40.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you're in Manhattan.
Yeah. I'm about to wrap it up. So, any words?
Well, it's always a real pleasure to talk with you guys, and I just want to encourage all those who have not done so. Please consider subscribing to Don Armando's channel. Please subscribe to George's channel, and of course mine. And it's always a pleasure discussing with you guys. And hopefully we'll talk again soon. I'm going to be talking about fun Christmas activities tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about typical Latino dishes that we eat on Christmas time. So it's going to be fun oriented.
Yeah, I also look forward to that too.
Got you.
Absolutely.
Yes. So have a good week, guys.
Take care.
Me too.
You
Take care.
you too. Yeah. Well, that's all, folks. Check me out on Wednesday when I actually talk about the martial arts. So, peace.